Is there any way to provide feedback for the Flex app in regards to reporting on-road routing issues? When you press when you press report a problem, it doesn't have enough options to explain the road it wants you to drive down doesn't exist. So, if you move the map while you're navigating, you'll get this little tiny menu icon, a little hamburger menu. If you press that, you can report a problem there. Now, these problems aren't resolved immediately. And I want you to understand that they do get to them, though. They do see them. So try to provide as much detail as possible. This road at these GPS coordinates does not exist. And the way you can do that is you can physically get out, go to the edge of the road, and be right where it's supposed to be, and take a picture of the ground. When you take a picture of the ground, inside the metadata of the photo, you have your GPS coordinates. You can copy and paste them into that report. Now, it does take some time. So one thing that you can do is snapshot the screen showing the navigation, take a photo where you're at, go over to where the road is supposed to be, take a photo of the ground. That logs all your GPS coordinates and logs your proof. Then you can find another way around to get there. Now, the Flex app's going to try to navigate you that way. You can try Google Maps, or you can, zoom the map out so that you just see your blue dot and don't hit start travel. And you can find your own way there and just follow your blue dot, but it's not, linear navigation. This is what I found to be the most helpful, believe it or not, in those circumstances. Because when you get back to the station at the end of the night, work it into your habit so that just before you clock out, you look at your work phone before you give it to the dispatcher and you say, oh yeah, I had some problems. Go to your photos. If you get in the habit of doing this, then at the end of the night, there's a QR code where you can report a defect. And most DSPs have that QR code for scanning it, or the website right at your DSP's desk. Or you can ask the OTR team, the RTS team, when you get back. Say, hey, I want to report some navigation issues. They'll give you the Qualtrics survey where you can report a defect. And they're very specific. And they respond very fast to these. I was able to solve, probably 1,000 problems that way. Downside to that is that it's DSP specific. Meaning that if your RGU changes and another DSP comes into that RGU, well, that change only applied to that DSP at that RGU. We had the unfortunate experience where we left an RGU as a delivery area, and then the DSP that was doing it after us wasn't doing too well. And so they moved us back there. I can't 100% confirm that's what happened, but that's what happened. When you get the job done right, they put the right people there to get it done, right? When we went back, all of our reported defects had recycled, and we had to do them all over again. Now, I'm working with Amazon Logistics, specifically the ACES team, to overcome this barrier. Most of the time, though, the ACES team doesn't understand that, hey, there's drivers who know their skill level, and they know their area, and they know their problems, and they can communicate them. But there's like a distrust in the competence understanding, meaning that the ACES team may not find the DSP drivers to be competent. And that's something that we're going to overcome. And Scorecard Coach is going to be directly involved in that, one way or the other, whether they like it or not. And that's because as logisticians, our purpose as a logistician is to make the logistics system that we work on better, whatever that takes. So we are always working to improve that logistics system. No logistics system is perfect. Amazon's logistics system is not perfect. And to assume that it is just going to create a lot of, back and forth, a lot of frustration. Walmart's logistics system isn't perfect. The Air Force's logistics system is not perfect. But we can always report the problems. And the way you do that is you work with your OTR team at the station. You work together. I'll give you a great example. For 4 years, there was a particular hub locker stop at an apartment complex that when the locker could not accept packages, it would say, please deliver these to the leasing office. Well, the leasing office stopped accepting packages during 2020, during COVID. So it was legacy. So drivers would get instructions from the OTR team and from their station saying, hey, you got to deliver those packages to the front door. Drivers looking at their app and it's saying, it says deliver to the leasing office. So I worked together with the station and it was painful. Trust me. We did like a controlled failure. I told each driver each day through the dispatcher, if any packages get rejected at the locker, I want you to mark the leasing office's business closed and return those packages to the station. Customers were upset. Leasing office, whew, they were upset. The driver's like, John, they're getting almost violent with me. I'm sorry, buddy, but we got to do the right thing, okay? And the only way that we can fix this is if we get those TVA numbers or failed deliveries attached to the SIM. So on the first day, OTR team says, hey, why aren't you delivering these packages to the front door like you're supposed to? Because the Flex app doesn't allow us to. It was leading to negative customer feedback. Hey, I didn't want my stuff delivered to my front porch. I wanted it delivered to the locker. Locker was like, it's full. Customers from the day before didn't get the packages out, so those packages won't fit, or it's an outsized box and the customer ordered it to the locker. Well, we can't leave those on the floor in an unsecured location, can we? Well, we can't. So we had the OTR team. We worked together with them. I'm so proud of this. We worked together with them to attach every single TVA number that failed delivery because of that locker. And eventually we had, over the course of a month, we had so many TVA numbers that problem moved up to the top of the list. And it got to a software engineer at the Flex app. He looked at the problem, and I went out personally and recorded video and made a video of what was happening, what the drivers were experiencing. And when he watched that video, that software engineer, when he watched that video, he said, this is a network-wide issue. Done. Fixed. Network-wide. Across the nation. Anytime the packages wouldn't fit in a hub locker, it would redirect them to the front porch with the GPS pin. And those customers were able to get their packages delivered to the front porch if that was a viable option. And the drivers had the instructions in the Flex app now. If I hadn't worked with the OTR team on that and let them know what we were doing, it would have created a feud, which is something we don't want. Because we want to work with them. They help us report problems. They put in things called SIMs, which allow us to make fixes for our logistics system so that we can perform our duty as logisticians. I'm going to go ahead and end this one here today.